Hello and welcome to the final instalment of our Moho textured square crochet along. What a year it's been. 12 months, 12 squares, 12 crochet patterns, 12 videos, 12 opportunities for absolute joy or frustration depending on how it's taken you. I hope you are ready for this final bit. If you're not, then just pause this video and watch it when you are. So all we've got left to do now then is our border. Now you can obviously put whatever border you fancy around this. I really like this border. I think it reminds me of them satin blankets, satin edged blankets that my grandma used to have. So it'd be like a woolly blanket, I suppose it was, and then it had this nice fat chunky edging round it that it was about that big, and it was just made me feel like, oh, it's bedtime, isn't it? So that is what we're going with this. It's a nice simple border, but it does have this really nice knitted look, and it is a little bit chunky, so it'll even out along the different textures and the different thicknesses of the squares. Now, if you want to do a different border, follow your heart, go for it. I'm going to show you how to do this one. So let's see what we need and get on with it. All right then, here's what we will need. So we've got our instructions. We have got a 6mm hook, so we're using the same size as we started with, so back with our old friend the 6, and we've got our yarn that we're going to be doing the border colour in. You could do a multicolour border if you want, you can do whatever you want. If you bought our kit, you should have a couple of balls left of this just to finish off your border with. And obviously you'll also need your joined up squares. Now I am working with a slightly smaller version here, just to make it a little bit easier to manage. So as I get towards the end, you might think, hey, she's not got 48 of them. There's 48 on this one, I promise, but this one is just a little mini version. Right, okay then, so let's get going. Right, so you will also notice that I haven't sewn in all these little ends. That's because as we come along, we can work over those a little bit and crochet those in. Right, so the border is worked all in half trebles. So we'll have a look at how we do those. Well, you should know if you've made all the rest of it. So the first thing that we need to do is figure out where we're going to join it. So it says to work the border using a 6mm hook, check. Join the yarn in any corner chain loop and chain 4. This is going to count as your first half treble. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So they count as a half treble, and then that fourth one counts as your chain. So your corner spaces, into each corner we're going to end up working a half treble, a chain and a half treble. So we've got our first half treble and chain, so now we need to do another half treble into that same space. So to work a half treble, we go wrap around in, catch your yarn and pull it through to the front. We should have 3 loops on our hook, and then wrap and pull through all 3. Delightful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to carry on working along this edge here using our slip stitch border again. Oh, it's useful, isn't it? We're going to, as before, be putting our hook through the middle of these 2 bars, but what is slightly different now is that if there is some bulk behind them, which there probably will be, we can pick it up as well just to make it extra secure. So it's just half trebles all the way along. So wrap around, through. Now I've picked up an extra loop at the back that's sitting just behind it. That's just going to make my border even more securely joined on. And I'm also going to work over my tail from my border colour so that I'm starting to sew my ends in. So 3 loops on your hook, round and through 3. So I'm going wrap in the middle of that slip stitch and out the back, pull it through to the front, wrap and through 3. So let's go again. Let's keep going along here. So you can see I am getting a bit of bulk on this, on my hook here. There's definitely more than just one strand of the square colour. So that just means it'll be a nice smooth transition into the border. So wrap through back, wrap and through 3. We'll do one more. And then I will discard. So you don't want to work over your tails too far because you're going to have to come back and sew them back in the opposite direction. So we'll get rid of that one there. And then we carry on. So this is a really nice simple border. It's very effective. It's just half trebles all the way around on this first round. Nice and simple. There's no turning. There's no nothing. I'm stood on my wool, so there's no wool either. Right, so we'll just keep going along. We'll have a look. We'll get you along to a join, see how we deal with a join. And then, oh, split that. That's, oh, honestly, Focus, Alex. We'll get you along to a join, see how we deal with a join, and then I'll whip along to the corner. Right, so we're just nipping through half trebles all the way. I love a half treble. As I've told you before, it's the first stitch I ever learned. Got a big affinity with the half treble. Right, back along here. Oh, did I miss? Oh, I missed one, honestly. Gabbing away. Right, in there. Lovely. Through there. Right, so as we come to the borders, the joining, now you should have your, if you did your counting right, we should have your last one in this little loop up here in your chain stitch there, and your next one in there. So they're the spaces where we're aiming to work into. Now this bit here, this is where I sewed one of my ends. This is like the end of a round, so the stitches are a bit tight around here, so just do your best. Find where you can get your hook in. So I've got 2 left to do here. You can see I've got 1 there, and then I've got 1 more to do. It's important that we don't reduce the number of stitches in the border. So it's just through that one there, because otherwise all your edges will pucker. Right, so I'm going to come along this next one now. I'm going to start in that space right there where my slip stitch went into, but I'm also going to work along this tail so that I'm starting to sew that in as well. So if we get past a couple of these, let's fly along here a bit, then we can just have a look what that looks like. And what you should see is that your border, come on you monkey, your borders and your joins sort of seamlessly blend together there, and you don't really get like a big gap or anything forming. All right. Right, so we're going to carry on along here, again going over like 5 or 6 stitches along over the tail, and then we will stop it and let it come back, and then we can sew it in 2 directions. Because this is a blanket, it's going to be under, well, moved quite a bit into it. It's not like a static item or on display, so it will flex and move a bit, so you do need to sew your ends in 2 directions. I'm sure I would have told you that in January. The very least. Right, okay, so what I'll do is I'll nip along here and get me to the corner, and I will see you at the corner, and we'll see how we do those. See you in a minute. All right, I'm back. We have gone all the way around with our first round, and I'm just going to show you how you finish off this first round. So we carry on right up to that last stitch there. Still doing our half trebles. It will get a bit easier on the next round, I promise. Up here, lovely. You get tough around the corners, don't you? 'Cause that's where we had all our ends sewed in. So I've got my last one. I'm going to go into this one here. This will be a bit of a tight one. Feel it? Lovely. So what I've then got here is I've got my chain 1, and then the double, the treble, the half treble there. So this is my corner space. So I'm just going to slip stitch into there and fasten that off there. So that is becoming the top of that corner stitch there. All right. Right, so we need to zoom back in for this next bit, because we're now going to start the next round. So the instruction tells to chain 1. That's not going to count as anything. That's just getting us a bit of hook height. So the first instruction says we're going to work a half treble crochet, 1 chain and a half treble crochet into this space here. So half treble crochet, 1 chain, half treble crochet. Right, so we're going to be carrying on. We're still doing half trebles, but we're going to be working through the 3rd bar. So let me show you. Let's get a little tool and I'll show you how we can find the 3rd bar. So when we're looking at a half treble, we have got your first bar, this one on the top. Let's let me got a little freebie from a magazine somewhere. First bar there. Nothing too exciting about that. Second bar there, as expected. The 3rd bar, if you flip it over, it's this here. It's on the reverse, so you should have the right side of your work facing you here. Your textured bit should be on this side. Get rid of that. And where we're going is through these bars at the back, this horizontal bar at the bottom of that gap where you would normally we'd stick our hook through there, wouldn't we? And we'd come out there. But what we want to be picking up is this bar below it. So here's how we do it. And once you've done a few, they will all turn over and sort of present themselves to you. So the easiest way to do it is sort of flip your work over a bit so you can see that there. We're still doing half trebles, so we wrap around under the third bar, pull it through to the front and round and through 3. And you can see what it does is it turns this nice row of sort of chain stitches along here and gives us that as our front profile. So we go, I'm not going through the top, I've got first bar, second bar, over the back, there's the third bar. And we do that all the way around just through the third bar. Once you've got a couple like this, they will just turn themselves over and they'll just sort of stand out to you. So you go in through the third bar, and what you should get on the front is it should be producing this raised row of a lovely sort of chain stitch along here. So we do that all the way along to the corner. So I'll nip along to the corner, just one in every stitch, nice and simple. You can do this while you're watching the telly. And then when we get to the corner, I will meet you there and we'll see how we get round the corners. Lovely. All right, so I'm coming up to my corner space. Now, half trebles can look a little bit tricky, as we've encountered before. So if I look at this, I'm here and I feel like, oh, I've probably only got one more stitch left, but I've actually got 2, because this bit that's sitting over the top of that half treble, that's the top of that stitch. So I've got my last one there, or my penultimate one there, and then my last one, which the third bar can disguise itself a little bit. There, come on, you monkey. There. Okay. So then I'm at my corner chain space here. And into each corner chain space, we're going to work half treble, chain, half treble. So we go half treble, chain, half treble, right around that corner there. And then what we do, we're back onto our third loops. Third bars, third loops, third whatever. So we go 1, 2, and I'm going in there. Right, so I will now carry on powering round this round, and I'll see you at the end of this round and we'll have a look at how we join it. Quick hint, it's exactly the same as how we joined the last round, so there won't be any surprises. Right, I'll see you when I'm there. Okay, so we're coming up to this end of this first third bar round, so I'm going to carry on up until I run out of half trebles, and this is how you'll finish every round of that you're doing in this stitch. So going there, and then I've got my last one here. Let's pick up that cheeky monkey. There you are. So what you're looking for is this hole here that is made by your one chain space. So you should have your chain there that we said that didn't count anything, then your treble into your corner space, then your chain. And all we're going to do is we do a little cheeky slip stitch in there, and then you are ready to carry on. So we do our one chain like you would have, like you did at the start of the last round, and then it's half treble, chain, half treble, and carry on round through the third bar. So you're going to repeat that previous row exactly the same as what we've just done until your border is the desired thickness. So that was our first row. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the half trebles, and then what we're going to do is we've just got one final round of slip stitches just to make the final row match this one, because if you don't do that, your last one stands up and you get a bit of a gap there. So I'm going to do my slip stitch. I'm just going to leave these 2 on this because I've not got very much cream left, and currently there is a bit of a yarn crisis with Stylecraft Chunky, so I've only got a little bit left. So once you've got the required number of half treble through the third bar rows, what we're going to do then is a little slip stitch round. So each corner space you're going to do, so we start with our one chain just as we did before. Each corner space is going to get 3 double crochets. So we're on to doubles now. Ooh, what a change. So 3 double crochets in each corner space. And then all you're going to do all along this way is do a nice round of not too tight. Keep them nice and loose, because if you do your slip stitches too tight, it will pucker all your edges, and we want it to have nice drape and stretch. And what you can see is that what that does is it just replicates that row below it there and gives you a nice neat edging. So we're just going to go, I'll go along a little bit more and then we will show you how that looks. So it just sort of mirrors it. So I'm just going to do these three. So I've got one, I had 1, 2, and then this will be my third row. I'm going to leave it at this because I don't think I will get another full round out of my half trebles, and that would be distressing. So all you do on this round is same again. We go all the way along, nice loosey-goosey slip stitches until you come to a corner chain space where you do 3 double crochets into that chain space. Carry on, corner, 3 doubles, carry on, and it will look like this. When you get down to this last one, just do like we've done before, a nice invisible join there. So hopefully now we've got something that looks a little bit like this. Might be different colours, might be slightly different organisation. You might have the rick-rack joining method. But hopefully we have now all got a beautiful snuggly blanket that you can display in pride of place on your sofa, or you can just keep it for wrapping around you. What I think we should do is have a meet-up where we all come wearing these blankets. What do you reckon? Right, well that's it. You're done. I've taught you everything that you've needed to know to make this. I am very grateful for you for joining us along the way and being part of this journey. As ever, if you've got any questions or any comments or feedback or anything that you'd like to give me, make sure it's positive. I don't deal well with criticism. Then just drop me a line. We've got the Facebook group, we have the website, and you've got the Facebook page. Send carrier pigeon, whatever you want. But I really do appreciate you for joining me on this project. We will be back with another crochet along very soon. It's very exciting. I'm already a little bit giddy about it. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be setting up a new group on Facebook for that. And just thank you very much, really. Thank you. Enjoy your blanket. I'll see you later. Bye bye.